providing the services and having it be a sustainable business model so that we can stay in business and provide the kinds of content that our children need. So, any reaction?
Well, we have several levels of professional development we do. I mean, we do everything from helping teachers understand just how to use the product, which I think of more as in service, to doing in-room coaching with teachers and everything between those things. So we've tiered out a lot of our professional development options, and we've seen good growth in our revenue around our service business. I think you have to figure out a tiered approach, and you have to ultimately be paid for it in some way, just like you said, Suzanne. You can't just give it away. But I think trying to make some distinctions between what can be done on the web that's snippets, inexpensive, convenient, what needs to be done to make sure your product gets out of the box, what can be done to really grow the professional depth of that teacher in using your product, and then just generally helping schools raise achievement by doing coaching and building capacity, running cadre meetings, doing all those kinds of things. We feel that a lot of school districts really do need deep support, and they're open to it. It's been a journey for us at Scholastic to really figure out how to go in and talk to people about it, because I think there's an expectation in your publisher that whatever you do is going to be free and it's going to be so product related that why would I pay for it? So trying to get, establishing yourself as an expert in the area with something more to offer than just basically a human reading of instructions. I think that's things that school districts will welcome, but you have to do the work of being compelling and making it seem like this is something they should do. I mean, our teachers, when you talk about having to go to a 4 o'clock session and you're not sure it's worth it, a lot of them aren't worth it. And we have to get our teachers really bought into what we're trying to do. I think the burden of proof has to be that it is worth it. Mm-hmm. And every teacher I talk to wants to be the best teacher they can be. They want to teach all their kids. It's it's the most aspirational job in the country. So we just have to buy into that natural desire, and then we have to deliver on it. And it's complicated, but it can be done. Thank you.
You probably, as publishers, aren't in a position to be as bold about it as I can be, because when you start advocating for investing in staff development and materials, it sounds like you're just trying to. But I argue that if we don't, with the school boards, we've got to increase the investment in continuing learning. I mean, and I think there is the business world is more willing to accept that now than they were 5 or 10 years ago because of their own experience. I mean, the world is changing, and one of the things I put on when I work with school districts is say, when you start screening candidates for teaching, look for evidence that they're learners. It's got to be in their blood, because if they're not learners, they're going to freeze up right where they come in, and so we've got to create a culture of continuous learning. I think we're closer to that. Now that's going to cost some money, but if you look at private sector industries, or maybe you can ask yourself this for your own businesses, how much do you tend to, if you've ever priced it out, how much do you invest in the continuing education of your own people, yourselves and others around you, to keep up with your markets? And then if you looked at the school budgets, and looked at Dave Berliner a number of years ago did a study where he said businesses spend about 7 to 10% of their resources on renewal, and education at a high water mark, we're spending less than 2%. So we're way behind, and no wonder we're kind of lagging behind. So I think if we went into a policy discussion about how to incentivize making learning, continued learning, a valued commodity in the school, I think we could come up with several policy things. We could make it. You might still be tired at 4 o'clock, but you would realize, especially if I gave you voice instead of some of the what's there, because it's got to be worthwhile and so forth. I think we could turn it around. And I'm not sure you, as publishers, are in the best position to be the advocate for that, because it might look too self-serving, but I'm an advocate for it all the time.
I'm not not sure what the answer to that question is, as far as how do we deal with that dilemma where the publishers, asking them to pay for our professional development or make it free. I'm really not sure. I just know from a teacher's perspective that professional development is crucial. Ongoing learning is crucial. Support in the classrooms of today, the changing classrooms, it's essential. And so when he asked what do publishing companies need to give up, that's the first thing that came to my mind was professional development. I know that we need it. We get so many different products in our schools, and they just say, use it today. And you're gonna get written up if you don't. And you're like, okay, but I don't even know what I'm doing. So I just think that the professional development is really crucial. So I don't know the answer.
It's a good message for us all.
Yeah.
We'll just try to solve the problems, which brings me to a concluding remark, because we are out of time, but I'm going to remind you, before I wrap up, please fill out the evaluation form. It's very important. And my last comment, and I'm going to build on one of Larry's, actually I'm combining a couple of his metaphorical statements here. That I think what we need, and what they've shown us, is we need good architects that are going to develop excellent blueprints for ships that can be built by master carpenters that are going to deliver us safely to learning in the year 2020. So let's thank our panel for their contribution.